Hello fellow Avatar and Korra fans, I'm Avatar04 here with another video, and it's still not my final comic trilogy review, The Rift, because I still currently do not have a copy of that and I want to reread it to refresh my memory and on what happened, because honestly I've only read that one through once, or I've read the other one several times for some reason. I don't know why I didn't really read it more, but still, so that should come in the next week or two. But until then, I might make, while making this video, and then also I might make one other one if I ever just want to make a video like I did tonight. I was like, I'll just make a video. So I just came up with something, and this one I'm going to use as why, me personally, I got into the Avatar franchise. If you're interested, I just wanted to say why I love the Avatar franchise so much. And I was thinking about just doing a more in-depth Avatar show review, the original series, since I did Korra recently, and that was a more in-depth, longer video. In comparison, like, I made one like several years ago. It was like really short though. Now I go more in-depth. But I was going to do that once again, but then when I started writing down my notes like I did now, I realized that everything I'm saying about the Avatar franchise as a whole is pretty much the same as what I would say about Avatar as a show, so it sounded really redundant. So I just decided I would just not worry about the Avatar show review because I'm doing this, but yeah, this is pretty much my Avatar show review, and including Korra, but what I think of both of them overall and how I got into it. And then at the end of the video, I'll talk about my future video ideas after the comic trilogy, The Rift, comes up. So, yeah, let's get started. Why I love the Avatar franchise so much as a whole. Once again, I'll be including both stuff from Korra and Avatar. So, yeah, most of this stuff is pretty much the same for both, but some I prefer one side. So, yeah, my original overall opinion. As you probably know, if you've seen all my videos, the Avatar and Legend of Korra are my two favorite shows. I love them so much, and I think they're really good, and I really don't like when I ask people, and they just call it a kid show. Like, I never watched that, because it's a kid show, and it's animated. And I really think that, undermines the really in-depth and relatable characters that you would get to know, the brilliant storytelling and the art and everything that a lot of people, critics and fans alike, young and old actually, love Avatar. And like I said, I've only heard a few people, especially with Avatar, pretty much everyone I asked has seen it and at least thought it was good. That shows how good it is. Even old people that don't really get into it as much as younger people, since it was on Nickelodeon especially, they still think it's really good, which says a lot for a kid show, let alone animated. But yeah, that's my overall opinion. And now, the same with Korra, by the way. Some of these things I'm just gonna say for both. I'll specify if I prefer one or the other. But my original opinion, what I thought before I got into it, I honestly made fun of it. I thought it was really stupid. That's why I wasn't in the fandom until 2010, sadly, right around when the movie was coming out. But obviously I didn't pay attention to it because I wasn't in the fandom. But just so you know, the movie is not what got me into it. It just happened to be around that time. But no, the movie disappointed me just like every other Avatar fan. What had happened, I thought it was just like some bald kid. Like, I'd heard about it and everyone was talking about it, but I just did not interest it throughout middle school and everything. It was not interesting to me slightest bit. But then I kept on hearing it was really good. I was like, I might get around to it sometime. Then my friend She was a big fan of it, and she had all the whole series on DVD, and she just asked if I wanted to borrow it, and I did, and both me and my friend, we started at the same time. We both got into it. He's not obsessed like I am, but he's still a fan. Yeah, I'm just really obsessed, and same with my brother, he got into it too. But yeah, that's basically how it started. I was making fun of it, and then after one episode, I was like, this is not at all what I thought it would be, in a good way. And I was really stunned at what I had been neglecting from watching and rejecting from getting into the, once again, the characters, everything. But once again, I'm really happy I did, and yeah, personally, what Avatar means to me, why I am obsessed with it so much, what got me into interested in the process of animation and art in general. I didn't take art seriously until I saw Avatar, and really what I always say, how I got into art, I was in art class, I liked it, but then when I started watching Avatar, I was like, hey, I think I was in 8th grade. I said, hey, let me try to draw Aang. And I did several times. I was like, definitely doesn't look like the one in the show. But then I kept on getting more and more judgmental, but then I kept on working at it, just drawing the simple Aang face and head. Because once again, that's the first thing I've really done, so I didn't really know how to draw anything else, really. So yeah, I just kept on drawing Aang's head over and over again. I'm like, I have to get this right. And then I got like, hey, that's pretty good. And then I kept up with it. And then I started drawing Aang's full body in different action poses. And then Katara, then Zuko, then all of them. Those are my first drawings. And that's one reason why I love Avatar, at least the original series, so much, is because of that personal thing. And since I want to go into that as a career, I'll never forget that, because that's actually literally what changed my life. And so yeah, if it wasn't for Avatar, who knows what, honestly. I know it's just a show, but you know, overall for a show, what it got me into for art and animation overall. But yeah, now the reasons why I like it so much. And I've heard some of these, I got it from critics and both fans, young and old, that I've communicated with throughout the years. And the first thing is storytelling. Like I said before, the storytelling in this is not like your typical animated show. It's continuous throughout, especially in Avatar mostly. Korra was continuous, but it was contained in the 4 seasons. They're throughout season arcs, so there wasn't at like just one final battle that you were waiting for, like in Avatar. Which was one of the reasons I prefer Avatar. I just love that format. It was something I'd never really seen before in a TV show, honestly. So I really like that, and the storytelling was just really in depth, especially for a kid show. And so yeah, the storytelling was brilliant in my opinion. Another thing that made it so interesting, and still does to me, is how they related it to real world events and or like locations, cultures, philosophies, and the mythology overall of the Avatar universe. I loved it. Like the Asian influence that also got me interested in Asian architecture, art, and everything, all the Chinese calligraphy and everything like that. It really, how they incorporated that into their world, all kind of mixing it with some things from other places, was really interesting and cool, and something I've never seen before, honestly, in the design and art field. Also, how they incorporated, once again, real life things, since, especially with the air nomads, they're monks, obviously, so they kind of pulled from real world, like, culture, and, like, real life monks, they involved meditating, shaving their heads, being spiritual, and like enlightenment and all that stuff. And they pulled things from like Buddhism, I think, and Hinduism, which once again, I'm not into that stuff. That's not me. But it made it more real for an animated show. And even though I don't agree with those like religions or anything, it still adds more to it. It's not, once again, just like you're watching something. It adds depth and more to it than just something they came up with. They really relate it to our world, and that's one thing I really like with the mythology and everything. The character development for most characters, obviously, like it couldn't be for, they didn't have any time for like the background characters is getting more and more, but for what they did, the character development is fantastic, especially in Avatar, but also with Korra specifically in Legend of Korra. Mostly for what happened between books 3 and book 4 when she was poisoned and everything. The character development, mostly in 3 characters in Avatar for me, which was Zuko, probably the best character arc I've ever seen anywhere, and I know a lot of people share the same opinion with me from what I've seen. Katara and Aang, how he matured and how he was just this goofy little kid they found in an iceberg, kind of like Katara said, and he grew and matured to the Avatar that he knew that he would become eventually, and he needed to grow into in less than a year. It's pretty incredible what they accomplished for the amount of, that's one thing that I'll just say it right now because it was released to it. The amount of time, they had 61 episodes for Avatar, 52 for Legend of Korra. Obviously, those are 2 separate stories. They're just, obviously, Legend of Korra is a spinoff. For each of them, but Avatar's especially, they, for a world they could go so in depth, and so, but they made the right choices on what to include and what not to, because obviously I'd love to see some more parts of this world, and it's so deep you would never really run out of ideas. You could always do a backstory on like, well, we saw in Korra that I've been waiting for, the first Avatar, what is that, and what's that story, and what is the Avatar technically, why are they reincarnated, and all that. So yeah, for what they did in the 61 episodes, especially in Avatar, but also for Korra, blew me away. How they were able to give at least the main few characters a character arc like they did, while still fitting in all the other stuff in filler. It's amazing to me. Another thing that Avatar really is known for is strong female characters, and me personally, that's always kind of a thing for me. I'm one of the people that do think, especially in media and everything, it gets on my nerves when people just undermine a character, kind of like what happened with Korra toward the beginning of production back in like 2011 or so, just because the main character is a girl. That's something that's always bothered me personally, but Avatar definitely capitalized on that, and the creators, both Brian and Mike, have said, just like I did, they knew that they wanted to make an action cartoon, kind of like nothing they've seen the world seen before. Kind of like in action anime shows, normally they said boys would tend to get more into that, but they wanted to make it so like both boys and girls could enjoy, of all ages, could enjoy a good action cartoon. There's no reason why they couldn't. So they threw in like Katara, who is my favorite character overall in Avatar, and made her basically like the heart of the whole show, and the person overall who you see the story being told through, just like in the introduction and everything. And also the crazy bending going on. Probably the strongest, some of the strongest characters, stronger than some male characters, are the female characters, and that just means a lot to a lot of people, and I agree with that. But So yeah, that's something that I really like, both Avatar and Korra. I mean, in Korra, they like, obviously, I mean, they made the strongest person in the world, the Avatar, a girl, and that obviously caused some, they said, some uh, discussion in both media and around Nickelodeon. But they gave them a chance to do it, and it ended up paying off, which I really liked, and I hope more shows pick up on that idea. But so yeah, the fight scenes. One thing that always stands out to me as an animation person, how in the world they draw all those fight scenes, especially with the elements constantly moving, like with water and stuff. It blows me away, and the fight scenes, since they pull the poses and positions and movement from the real life, from a real life martial arts consultant who pulled it from different like cultures and martial art forms and everything and types. Like waterbending is based on Tai Chi. It's really soft and fluid in motion, and Bagua is air. It involves a lot of spiral movements, and Hung Gar style is earth. Really, basically like they say in the show, kind of the stances, the rocks and everything is always compact, strong. And fire, there's a lot of crisp, like sharp movements with Northern Shaolin style. And so yeah, once again, how they made it really realistic in a way that no really other animated show has done before. It was really cool. Once again, the bending, beautifully animated, just a cool concept overall. Even if the very few people that I've said that didn't really care for Avatar, they say, but I have to admit, bending is probably one of the coolest things I've ever heard of or seen, and I'd love to be a bender. I'm like, why wouldn't you? Whether you like it or not, I mean, come on, who wouldn't want to be a bender? That's just so cool. And one thing that I really love about Avatar and Korra, they have the right amount of humor. So there's humor and there's little kiddie moments, but it doesn't overtake it like sometimes kid TV shows do. They still take out really mature themes and really dark things and edgy things for kids' cartoons. But overall, they balance everything out between humor, action, and romance and all that stuff. And another thing, deep relatable characters, both Avatar and Korra. Especially Avatar for me. I really connected with Aang and Katara and Zuko, those the main three, and with Korra and even Mako somewhat. And that also leads into life lessons that you can actually pick up from Avatar. I honestly didn't think about this until I saw a post somewhere from a media source on Facebook, and they were saying, like, best cartoon and so forth, and Avatar's always on it. I clicked on one someday, like a few weeks ago, and it said, this is why Avatar is more than just a basic cartoon, like some may underestimate it to be. And I read through it, and I was like, that's true. You can really pick up great life lessons from it, and stuff you can apply to the real world, and to your life. And like one thing, Aang being a monk, always being passive, it's a good lesson. Obviously, sometimes self-defense and so forth, but overall, he always has this, and it comes up in Southern Raiders especially, Aang always says, choose to forgive, and all that stuff. So forgiveness, obviously a great lesson. Toph being strong no matter what people may say about you, or not caring about what people think. Or since she's blind, she never let that stop her from becoming probably the best earthbender ever. And these like life lessons, there's a lot more, but those just come to my mind specifically, have really changed people's lives, really, because I've actually seen several in that comment. There was a mom, the one that stuck out to me specifically. She has a blind girl, and she said that her daughter said that it's okay, Mom, I'll be strong like Toph, and that like kind of shows that how this show is deeper and not just your average show, let alone kid show, but obviously there's good morals in everything, pretty much, and you can find them, you just have to look and everything, but those are once again the two that stick out to me. But once again, amazing art. It got me into art and animation overall. All the designs and everything. Once again, the art books are for both Avatar and Korra, and I'm looking forward greatly to the book 4 art book coming soon. All the background paintings, character designs, everything just blows me away every single time. Whenever I rewatch it, some people just like, you're just watching it. I do watch it for enjoyment, but also whenever I watch it, I study it for the animation techniques used, how they storyboard it. I'm technically studying while enjoying it at the same time, which is really cool once again. And just looking at the art and design and wondering how in the world they did that, or what shot they used, or something like that. So once again, Avatar has inspired me and really changed my life for and got me into art. Once again, not your average animated show. It really wasn't at all what I expected it to be. I honestly didn't know much about it. I thought it was just a basic children's cartoon and that everyone just seemed to like. But I was definitely wrong, and I'm happy I got into it when I did, because that was when Korra was announced, the movie. Well, when we had hope about that. And also, yeah, like I said, Korra was coming out, so within a year or so, I was able to get in the fandom, start a Twitter account for the fans, and really get into the fandom once again. And I was saying it back then, I'll at least be able to enjoy Korra as a fan, which is once again one reason I love Korra so much. I finally got to experience that with the Avatar fandom, since I wasn't in it back when Avatar was airing. So yeah, overall, that's my basic brief thoughts. I definitely could go into more depth, but kind of want to keep this video not too long. Why I love the Avatar franchise so much, both Avatar and Korra, what they did for me personally, why I connected them, and why I'm obsessed with them, just like a lot of other people are. So yeah, just like I said in the beginning of this video, I'll get the Rift review up as soon as I can in the next 2 weeks or so. And my future videos, which there might be one before then, once again, if I just want to make a video. I wrote down a lot of ideas. I brainstormed, will this make a good video? Can I do that correctly or not? So, yeah, future video ideas. I'm going to do one on Korra's arc overall, because that's something I really connected to, and I love how they beautifully did that in pretty much one season, in my opinion, throughout between books 3 and book 4 once again. What would have made Legend of Korra better? Best fights in Avatar and Korra, a big one for me, a top 10. Top 10 characters in Avatar and Korra, once again top 10 list. Aang versus Korra, who's a better Avatar. Favorite episodes, both Avatar and Korra. And the Smoke and Shadow comic preview, everything we've gotten about that. So, after I finish these, I'm trying to come up with ideas, obviously, now that pretty much we only have the comics since Korra's ended, and right now, at least, the fandom and the franchise is really quiet, and everything's died down, so I'm trying to just pull up with more top 10 lists. I might do top 10 least favorite episodes, and then just start a rewatch, and once I finish the season, just do an overall season. Once again, book 1 water, book 2 earth, so and so. Once again, now I'm doing things more in depth, even though I've done them in the past. But yeah, that's how things will go on my channel in the future. And feel free to give me more ideas. Leave comments about what you want me to see, me to do a video on. So yeah, I might even do one on the Avatar video games. Who knows? I think that's it. Thank you again for listening. I know this was more just me personally, but I still hope you enjoyed it, and why I love the Avatar franchise so much, and why I made this channel in the first place, and the future of my channel. And yeah, thanks for watching.